Okay, it's day 720 and we're here in Belleville, and we have a familiar face with us, Alicia from 2 years ago. She's going to be with me for a couple of days. We have Lisa from the Comfort Inn, and we have Paul, Joseph from the, he's a recipient. Okay, so catch more. Straight ahead.
Organ donation, don't you? That'd be better.
We didn't start at the stack. Perfect.
Sorry?
Are you running at all?
We're running?
Yeah, running.
No, I'm walking.
Walking already.
the way and it's recorded.
And a leader. And I know we have people here that's affected by it, and we'll make a few comments, and then we get on with the refreshments and social visit. And I'm going to ask our honored guest to sign the guest book, George, with my namesake, you see, so that I'm a great deal of comfort. But I think it is important, as I mentioned downstairs, how fortunate we are in our society as Canadians, the humane part that we from time to time neglect to see on each one of us, that the humane part that we should want to share with people in our society less fortunate and so on, and anyone's got the good health, count your blessings. Because I've had my share in my family the past couple of years, so I can relate to a lot of things in life. It's changing completely, so I think it is a very special event. I want to ask the Chief perhaps to say a few words. The Chief is a great participant to any events that we have going on in our community. I'm going to ask Joe, of course, Belanger, a member of our community, and I think he's got sort of very important statements or comments to make. Chief?
Yeah, I would I'd like to thank everyone for their participation and you for your efforts. Going back to 1996, we had a young, our son was born, and we knew before he was born that he needed a heart transplant. From the medical information that was available, and we knew that 2 months before he was born, which is significant in the timing of receiving a donated organ. But after he was born, we waited at Sick Children's Hospital for 5 months for a heart to come, and it never came. Now, fortunately, in its extremely rare case that Aaron's heart grew during those 5 months, his left ventricle grew, his aorta actually grew, which is almost never heard of in the medical world. But while we were there, we were just lucky that that happened, and we saw a lot of families that were waiting for the same thing and whose children died while they waited. And I'm a strong believer that that's needless, that wait should not be there. I think that there should be an automatic consent if someone does not exercise the option. And it has to be open to people who, for whatever religious reason or personal reason, choose not to donate. But other than that, unfortunately in our society, which is sort of benevolent in relation to a lot of things, people don't get up in arms unless it's personal. And they don't realize that people are dying while they're waiting for organs that they don't need to wait for. There's some complications on the medical side of things in relation to when someone is clinically deceased or when brain death happens. And some of them are just ludicrous. Some of our doctors don't know enough or choose not to sometimes inform families that donations are needed. I actually know of one situation where a young child was going to be born brainless because of the way that the infant had developed. But because there was no brain, they could not be declared brain dead, and therefore all the organs could not be donated. But the technicality was they could never pronounce death at that level to make use of the other organs. Ridiculous for people that are waiting at Sick Children's Hospital or at London or Ottawa or at Kingston, or for adult donors to come. And with the accidents and the unfortunate situations that so many people go through, we have to, as a society, and we have to have our medical practitioners continually reinforcing the need for organ donation. I think the provincial government tried to undertake some initiatives. They even had Don Cherry at one point, who was going to become involved as a spokesperson for organ donation. And I met Don Cherry, unfortunately, through, and I say unfortunately because it was through an officer named Terry Ryan, who was killed just last week by a drunk driver in Durham Region. And Terry was a strong advocate of organ donation and had introduced us, hoping that I could work at some level in increasing the awareness. And that never really came across from anything I've ever heard provincially or through that organization.